So this is the new Honor X6c. And to be honest, I'm not expecting a huge upgrade over the Honor X6b, but I'm going to unbox it anyway. And if you're interested in the latest budget phone and tablet reviews and unboxings, subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. Okay, so this is the Honor X6c. Going to be a very quick unboxing video just to see what the phone is like. So I've got the phone in Ocean Cyan. It's got 6 gigs of RAM, which is the base model, up from the 4 gigs base on the X6b, and I've got 128 gigs of internal storage. You can also expand that with a memory card. So you lift the lid and you get the phone on top. Just set that aside for 1 second, and you get a little packet with your SIM pin and your USB-A to USB-C charging cable. So we'll pop that aside for a minute. Here is the Honor X6c, very typical Honor design. 50 megapixel main camera with just a depth sensor as well, LED flash and something else just for a bit of decoration. USB-C charging port on the bottom with a microphone, 3.5mm headphone jack and a speaker grill. SIM tray at the top. You can also house a micro SD card, and then you've got your volume buttons and your power button with integrated fingerprint scanner. And then on the left, I believe that's like an AI button, which I'll get a little bit more into in a bit. And there's a pre-applied screen protector. Clearly I can't get my words out. So let's just power on the phone, see if she's got any juice. She has indeed, so let's just go through the setup process. Okay, so booting up the phone, you've got your welcome screen, all set English, United Kingdom, agree to the terms of use, insert a SIM card, which I don't have at the moment. And I will just quickly connect to my Wi-Fi. So we're all connected to the Wi-Fi, so let's just continue. Checking for updates and getting the phone ready. Now this is obviously just a little bit of a tedious process sometimes, especially for me who's doing it on a very regular basis. So I don't want to copy my data, and then I will just sign into my Google account. So then once you've done that, it'll give you the option of whether you'll be using the device or if your kid's going to be using it. I will be using it. Agree to those bits as well. Getting your account info. As you can see, there's some pretty chunky bezels around this display with a pretty sizable chin at the bottom. Set your time and date, etc. And that is correct. Google's services. I don't want to back up anything just yet. And then choose your search engine. Google for me, thank you very much. Set as default. Set your Gemini, bits and bobs. I'll turn all that on for now. Data and privacy, let's continue. Sign into Honor ID. I won't be doing that just yet. I do have an Honor ID, but I will do that later on. So let's quickly set up the fingerprint scanner. Let's create a pin. And then let's see how good this fingerprint scanner is. Normally the capacitive ones on the sides of the phone are pretty responsive. They do a pretty good job. Although the Honor 400 Lite, which is also an entry-level phone, now has the fingerprint scanner under the display. So they did actually do away with the side-mounted one on that, which was nice. But this phone is a lot cheaper, so trying to do the edges, come on. There we go. I'm not going to do another one just yet. I'm not going to set up face unlock. It's just, of course, a 2D image of your face. So we'll scrap that for a minute. Enable the services. We'll join that later. And then you can choose whether you want your gesture navigation or 3 keys. I will leave it on gesture navigation so you can have a look at the responsiveness of it. And then here we are is the Honor X6c running Magic OS 9 on top of Android 15. So we'll just jump into the settings and go to About Phone. And we are on Magic OS 9 on top of Android 15. We are running a February 2025 Google Play system update and an Android security patch of May 2025. And we can quickly have a look. No, wrong one. If anything else is going to come up. As I've just booted the phone up, may not come up quite yet. And then this is just your typical settings menu from other Honor devices. I won't go through all the sections. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, mobile networks, more connections, NFC, which is nice, Honor Share, Android Auto, etc. Honor AI. So then you've got their Magic Portal, AI Subtitles, AI Translate, and then Smart Interaction with that AI button. So what does it say? With a short press, you can quickly access, there we go, a few bits there, turn the torch on, calculator, etc. Maybe that will change depending on the apps that you use regularly. It might change the suggestions as you use the phone more and more. And then you've got your usual home screen settings. So you can change your wallpapers. Let's just agree to those for a minute. Click on more. And then you've got a plethora of wallpapers that you can download. Some of them you will naturally have to pay for. I always click on free, and then it gives you loads that you can download. And then once you do download them, they will all be in the Me section. So you can quickly toggle between different ones. And then you've got always on display, fonts, icons, overall themes, magazine unlock, which I always turn off. But what that does is it shows you a different picture every time you press the power button and wake the phone up. I always turn that off. I don't know, I just find it a bit annoying. And then home screen, standard, there's no apps drawer out of the box, but you can just toggle that and turn that on. And then as for performance, on the X6b, you get a MediaTek Helio G81 Ultra, which has got the same GPU and the same CPU as the G85 found in the X6b. So performance-wise, you're going to be hard-pressed to notice a difference. You do have a 120 Hz refresh rate on this, as opposed to the 90 Hz on the previous generation. And it's just a bog standard TFT LCD display, 6.61 inches, so slightly smaller. But overall, it's a pretty nice looking display, to be honest. And then camera wise, you get a very basic 5 megapixel selfie camera, and then a 50 megapixel main camera with just that depth sensor as well. So let's just take a quick snap with that main camera of the Honor 200. As you can see, pretty basic results from that example there. And then the selfie camera, beauty mode. Unsurprisingly, you're going to get some pretty basic results from that one as well. I will go into this a little bit more in depth in my full review, so definitely get subscribed and hit a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far. And then as for the battery, you get a massive 5300 milliamp hour cell, same as found on the Honor 200, and you get 35-watt charging. Not the fastest on the market, but it should be plenty if you want to get juiced up pretty quickly. Now this is just a 4G only phone as well, so you're not going to get 5G connectivity, but I guess that's part and part of what you will expect at this low price. 130 quid is the normal price on Amazon. There is a voucher currently as of the 1st of July to get 30 quid off, so it'll cost you just 100 quid. So let me know what you think of this Honor X6c. That's the display up against the Honor 200. Of course, it's not going to be anywhere near as good quality wise, but just out of curiosity, there it is. And then also the Honor 400 Lite, which again has got an AMOLED screen with 120 Hertz, so it is just naturally going to look a little bit better. But let me know what you think so far of the Honor X6b. It's a really nice feeling phone, nice flat edges, pretty typical of a budget Honor device. Would you consider it based on these first impressions? Subscribe for my full review that will be coming very soon, and I'll see you in the next one.